السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله على إحسانه وشكر له على توفيقه وامتنانه، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له تعظيما لشأنه، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله داعي إلى رضوانه وعلى آله وأصحابه وإخوانه. أما بعد أخي، هل تراك سئمت الكفاح وألقيت عن كاهليك السلاح؟ فمن للضحايا يواسي الجراح ويرفع راياتها من جديد. إخواني في الله, we are continuing with our lecture series regarding the Mongolians and the Muslims. In the previous series, إخواني في الله, we spoke about how these barbarians took over most of the eastern part of the Muslim empire, the largest empire that had been seen up to that date. The Muslim empire was stretching from as far as China to the east and as far as Spain to the west. And these barbarians, since the time of their founder Genghis Khan, they had taken over most of Iran, Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, parts of Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, all these Stan countries they are taken over. And the Muslim world had forgotten about it. Thereafter, we mentioned the massacre and the destruction of the capital city of the Muslims. The Muslims had a capital city for over 500 years. That was the jewel of the world, the most beautiful city in the entire world, the city of Baghdad. In the year 656 of the Hijri calendar, in the month of Safar. Thereafter, we spoke about that tyrant Hulagu Khan and how after he finished with Iraq, he set out to conquer the remaining part of the Muslim world, to erase the presence of Muslims and Islam from the face of the earth. So he set forth for the lands of Syria. As he was setting forth, we mentioned that there was a small area near the border of towards the east of Turkey, the land of Mir Farqin. The leader Al-Kamil Muhammad Al-Ayyubid, he refused to surrender. So he was besieged for 18 months by the son of Hulagu Khan, Yashmut, the son of Hulagu Khan. 18 months they fought bravely for their deen, for their honor, for their state. But after 18 months, the city was defeated, the gates were opened, and the Muslims were massacred in the land of Mir Faqin. 18 months, they called on the Muslims, the entire Muslim world, to help them, and no one will help them. They had no food, until they started eating any animal they could find. Any animal they could find. Be it halal animal, be it haram animal, be it cats. And some of the Armenians, the Christians, they mentioned in their stories, because no one was left from the Muslims in this town to narrate the story, they said that the Muslims had reached such a difficult state that some of them started eating their own dead family members because of lack of food or any other source. When news reached the city of Aleppo, the city of Halab, in the month of Muharram, the year 658 of the Hijri calendar, that the city of Mir Faqin has fallen. This devastated the morale of this city that wanted to hold out against the Mongolians. They were besieged by the Mongolians. All sides, the Mongolians are bombarding them with catapults and whatever weapons they have of siege. So they were really broken because of the news they had that the city of Mir Faqin has fallen down, has been taken by the Mongolians, and the Muslims have been massacred. The leader of Mir Faqin was brought all the way to Aleppo, to the city of Halab. Aleppo is the second capital city of Syria. If you're aware, Syria has two capital cities, Damascus, and the financial capital is the city of Aleppo. So he was brought there, and he was tortured by Hulagu Khan himself. He was cut, his flesh from his body parts, and he was fed until he died, and his head was decapitated and taken around the cities and the towns of Syria, so that anyone who dares to resist the Mongolians and the New World Order will face the same fate. So the story of Mir Faqin ended. Al-Kamil Muhammad he died. But he died with his head lifted high. For the death of the one who is, inshallah, shaheed is not like the death of the coward. Both of you will face death. But the one who meets Allah Azza wa Jal, and he has a case that his life has been taken unjustly, is not like the one who dies in a state of cowardice. So the city of Aleppo, when they heard that Mir Faqin has been taken over, they lost morale to fight. Meanwhile, Hulagu Khan is bombarding them. After just 7 days of being bombarded, Hulagu Khan tells them, I will give you peace if you surrender. So the Muslims in the town of Aleppo, they are divided. What do? Do we accept this peace agreement with the Mongolians, or what do? The majority, the vast majority, they said, we are tired, we are exhausted, 7 days has been too much, we can't hold out anymore, let us surrender to the Mongolians. A small part, led by the great leader, a person who was over 80 years old, Turan Shah, he says, no, these are Mongolians, they do not keep their word. إِنَّهُمْ لَا عَهْدَ لَهُمْ لَا أَيْمَانَ لَهُمْ. They will not keep whatever promise they have. So he decided to go back to a citadel to fight the Mongolians. If you guys want to open the gates, we can't stop you, but us, we are continuing with our jihad. We are continuing with our resistance against these barbarians. We cannot let them enter the city. So the people of Aleppo, they opened the gates to the Mongolians. And the Mongolians told them, we are giving you peace, we won't harm you. So they opened the gates. And when they entered, as usual, they betrayed the trust. And they massacred all the people of Aleppo from the Muslims. They didn't leave a single Muslim they could find alive. They destroyed the buildings, the properties of the Muslims. And the Christian leaders who were with them, they went to the Grand Mosque of Aleppo and they burnt it down. These are the events of the year 658 of the Hijri calendar, the month of Muharram. The few groups of the Muslims remained holed up in that city. There were very few. They managed to defend themselves for over 4 weeks until the month of Safar, where the fortress was demolished or destroyed. The Mongolians managed to capture everyone and they killed everyone except one man. They left this man, Turan Shah, alive. For what reason did they leave him alive? Wallahu alam, they know best why they left him alive. But perhaps because he was the uncle of the leader of Damascus, Nasir Yusuf. Perhaps he wants Hulagu Khan that the other leaders, they surrender like he surrendered, or nothing will happen to you if you surrender. He wants to maybe send a message to the rest of the Ayyubids, the grandchildren of Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, that nothing will happen to you if you surrender. Even if you fight, we'll still honor you. If you're Ayyubi, will not harm you. So this was Aleppo, the city of Syria, completely destroyed. The Muslims were massacred in a very brutal manner. Thereafter, Hulagu Khan, la'natullah alayh, after he destroyed the city of Manbij, before I didn't mention, city of Manbij, he's destroyed the city of Aleppo and many other cities and towns we mentioned before. He goes towards a fortress called Harim. And the Muslims there also, they don't want to fight and defend themselves. He defeats them and he massacres all of them. He gives the city of Aleppo to the leader of Hims, it's called Al-Ashraf al-Ayyubi, who helped him in his quest to conquer the city of Baghdad. Told him, now you're the leader of Aleppo and you're the leader of Hims. You're a Muslim who helped us in our endeavor to conquer these lands of the Muslims. Take the city of Aleppo, but you're going to be a subordinate, or you're going to rule on behalf of the Mongolians. Thereafter, after he finished with Harim, Hulagu Khan, he set out to Antioch. This is one of the most famous cities in Christian history. It's a Muslim city. It's in Turkey currently. So at that time, it was led by Prince Bohemond VI, one of the leaders of the Crusaders. It was a Crusader state. There were many Crusader states in Syria and Lebanon and Palestine from the days of the First Crusade, and they were not yet conquered. They were not taken back by the Muslims. So he was the leader of this area, Antakya. So they have a conference outside of Antakya. He calls Hulagu Khan, all his allies for a conference in this land. So he comes the king of Armenia, Haythum the First. He comes the prince or the king of Antakya, Bohemond VI. He comes the leader of Hims, Al-Ashraf al-Ayyubi. He comes the leaders of Anatolia, of Turkey, Kikawis II, and Kalj Arslan IV. All these leaders, they gather for this conference. Hulagu Khan, this tyrant, he starts giving out what does not belong to him. Number one, he says, the king of Armenia has helped me very greatly. He helped me conquer Baghdad. He helped me conquer Miyafarqin. He helped me conquer Aleppo. I'm giving him a lot from the war booty we've gathered from Aleppo. Let him take it. Whatever we've gathered from the jewelry, the gold, the silver, the animals, the horses, the camels, the silk, whatever we collected from Halab, from Aleppo, we give most of it or a lot of it to the king of Armenia, the king Haythum I. The second thing, you two kings of Turkey, you have to surrender back all the towns and the cities you took from Armenia back to the king of Armenia. Number three, king of Antakya, Bohemond, will give you the coastal province of Syria, Latakia, Jabalia, and so on and so forth. Jabalia will give you this area of Syria, the coastal area of Syria. You have helped us a lot. Number four, I, as the overall leader, want to make a good relation between myself and the Byzantine kingdom that is in Constantinople, that later on the Muslims conquered, became the city of Istanbul. So I want you Christians not to have this division amongst yourselves. I want the leader of the church of Antioch to be from the Orthodox Church. I want him to be a person from Greece or from Greek origin. Let him be the leader of the church. I know you're Catholics, but I want a leader from the Orthodox Christians. This is something very dangerous for the Christians. The Catholics and the Orthodox, they're like two separate religions completely. Later on the Protestants came, so they have three separate religions. They really hate each other. تَحْسَبُونَهُمْ جَمِيعًا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ شَتَّى. You think they're one thing, but their hearts are completely separate. They really hate each other. Like even when the Crusaders came to conquer, to take over Jerusalem, Al-Quds, they didn't leave the Christians because the Christians are not Catholics like them. So they massacred the Muslims, they massacred the Jews, and they also massacred the Christians because they're Orthodox Christians. So this is something very dangerous. But Hulagu Khan is the most powerful man, or one of the most powerful dynasties, the superpower. He's representing the superpower, the Mongolians. So it says the leader of the Christian church in Antioch is no longer a Catholic, he is an Orthodox. They can't say anything, they keep their head down. So they finished their conference, and he sets out to conquer what remains from the land of Syria. So he leaves Antioch. This is the year 658 of the Hijri calendar. He comes to the city after Aleppo, the major city is the city of Hama. So the Muslims of Hama, they all are very fearful that what happened to Aleppo will befall them. So they rush to meet Hulagu Khan, and they surrender peacefully and give him the keys to the city. Hulagu Khan is very impressed with this, and because he wants to encourage all Muslims to do the same, he does not harm them. He gives them true peace. He does not kill a single one of them. So he takes over the city of Hama. Thereafter, the city that comes after Hama in Syria, the major city is the city of Homs. So he sets out to the city of Homs, but who is the leader of Homs? His own ally, Al-Ashraf al-Ayyubid. So he passes Homs, and he sets out towards the city of Damascus. Remember that leader we mentioned last night, Al-Nasir al-Ayyubi, Nasir Yusuf. He had left the city of Aleppo, yet he was the leader, claiming that he'll go to Damascus and launch a jihad against the Mongolians. He has been a person who has been a dictator, betrayer all of his life. He does not know even the meaning of that word perhaps. Yet he's claiming that I'm going to fight the Mongolians. So when he hears that the Mongolians have reached this far and they're going to come to Damascus, he calls a meeting with all his army, tens of thousands of soldiers he has. They have a meeting, a council, a shura. Let us talk, what do we do? And after a lot of talking, a lot of debating, they come to one conclusion. The best course of action for us to do is to run away. So they decide to run away. Ikhwani fillah, this is something that you will see very clearly in many times of history. Even in our own times. You will find that the biggest cowards are the biggest noisemakers. The biggest cowards are the biggest noisemakers. Either they're inciting you to go fight, or they're inciting you not to fight. These are the biggest cowards usually. And be wary of them. Because sometimes you are thinking your brother has your back, yet your brother is with the enemy. Or you're thinking your brother has your back, yet is the first one to leave the battlefield and to run away. And then they know that this is one of the major sins in Islam. So he runs away. He has a responsibility. You as a leader, the first responsibility is the security of your people. So when you run away, who do you leave the city of Damascus to? This city of Damascus was the capital city also of the Muslims. Before Baghdad became the capital city, the city that was the capital city for the Muslims was the city of Damascus. This is the seat of the Dawla al-Umayyah, the Umayyad dynasty, from the time of Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan until it fell to the Abbasids in the year 132 of the Hijri calendar. This was the capital city of the Muslims, one of the major cities in history, the oldest capital city in history. Yet, you're not there to defend it. So the Muslims in Damascus also confused. They don't have any experience in fighting. They don't have any soldiers. Most of the soldiers of the army, they've run away. What do we do? So they have a council, the ulama and the elders and the people who have status in the society, and they agree to surrender to the Mongolians, to hand over the keys of the city of Damascus to the Mongolians. The year 658 of the Hijri calendar, the month of Safar, exactly 2 years after the fall of Baghdad. So they agree to this, except a small group that says, no, we're not going to accept this. We are going to fight until our last breath. These are Mongolians, they cannot be trusted. So they lock themselves in a citadel, in a fortified area of Damascus to fight the army of Mongolians who are coming soon. So the keys are brought to Hulagu Khan, la'natullah alayh. As he receives the news, the keys, news reaches him that shakes him to the core. The news that reaches him is that the Great Khan Mongke Khan, la'natullah alayhi kadhalik, in Mongolia has died. And there's going to be a kurultai, there's going to be a leadership mid-council where they're going to choose the next leader of the Mongolians. We mentioned previously that this Mongke Khan had 3 brothers. One of them is this Mal'un Hulagu Khan, the other one is Arikh Boke, and the other one is Kublai Khan. All these are his brothers. So who amongst them will be the leader of the Mongolians? So he asked himself, yes, the land of Syria is great. Conquering the Muslims is a great endeavor. But even better is for me to be the leader of the entire Mongolian world. It's much bigger, it has much honor and much status. So he leaves, he doesn't enter Damascus, he sends his army by that leader who conquered Baghdad on his behalf, the leader of the expedition of Baghdad, Kitbuga Noyan, who was a Nestorian Christian. He was a Christian Mongolian. So Hulagu Khan lives with his army, he goes back to, he wants to go to Karakorum in Mongolia, but before he reaches, when he reaches Tabriz in Iran, he's informed that the Mongolians have had a kurultai, they've had a consultation, and they have chosen the next leader of the Mongolians to be Kublai Khan, his brother. So he cannot be the leader of the Mongolians. خسر الدنيا وطبعا خسر الآخرة. He's not big benefit from his dunya apart, even despite all his brutality. So the Muslims of Damascus, they have surrendered this great city. This city that was conquered by Abu Ubaidah Amr ibn Jarrah, the Amin of this ummah, radiallahu anhu. This is a city that was conquered by Sayfullah al-Maslul, Khalid ibn Walid. The sword of Allah conquered this city. This is a city that was conquered by Shurahbil ibn Hasana. This is a city that was conquered by the greats of the Sahaba. And it was so important for the Muslims to conquer this city than even the city of Al-Quds, the city of Jerusalem. For if you conquer Damascus, it's easier for you to conquer the city of Al-Quds. So they entered, the first time in history, since it was conquered in the year 14 of the Hijri calendar. Syria, Damascus was conquered at the time of Umar ibn Khattab in the year 14 of the Hijri calendar. No single non-Muslim army had entered that city. Same as Baghdad. No one had entered before. It was the first time in history that a foreign non-Muslim army was conquering it. It's the first time a non-Muslim army is coming to conquer the city of Damascus, the year 658 of the Hijri calendar. So this time, 3 leaders from the Christian leaders, they entered the city of Damascus. The first of them is the leader of the Mongolians, Kitbuga Noyan. The second of them is the king of Armenia, Haythum the first. The third is the king of Antioch, the king Bohemond the sixth. They enter the city of Damascus. And a Mongolian is left to be the governor of that city. Is called, I don't know his name, Iblias or something like that. Ikhwani fillah. Ibn Kathir rahimahullah, he mentions in Bidayah and Nihaya that when these people entered the city of Damascus, immediately they started provoking the Muslims. Number one, they started going around from Babu Tuma and other places of Damascus with a very large cross and shouting and claiming that the correct religion has gained victory. And starting insulting the Muslims and the symbols of Islam and whatever they can insult from Islam. You'll never find a Muslim insulting the Prophet Isa alayhi. You'll never find a Muslim insulting Jesus. You find them insulting Prophet Muhammad, but you'll even find even the most ignorant of Muslims insulting the Prophet Isa alayhi salam. We do not act in that manner, attack them. Even the gods we do not believe in, we do not insult them so that they do not insult Allah Azza wa Jal. I understand this. We can't even insult the Indian gods or the Buddhist gods or whatever gods of the Mushrikeen so that they do not insult Allah Azza wa Jal, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. So number one, they start claiming that the true religion has gotten victory. This is the cross that's going to be lifted in the land of Damascus. Number two, they start carrying wine bottles to provoke the Muslims, of course. And whenever they see a mosque of Muslims, they pour wine. They sprinkle wine into the mosque. Number three, if they see Muslim groups in the markets or wherever they can find them on the roads, they make sure to sprinkle on them alcohol on their clothes, and on their prayer places, and on their bodies, so that the Muslims know that we are here. And most of the Muslims, they believe that the alcohol is najis. They believe that alcohol is impure. So you have to go change your clothes according to that opinion. But the correct opinion, it's not najis per se. Because the Prophet ﷺ, when khamr was banned, the Muslims, they poured all the khamr on the roads of Medina. It was flooded with alcohol, and they walked on that road, and the Prophet ﷺ did not command them to wash themselves. Are you together? So they continue provoking the Muslims. They enter the Umayyad mosque in Damascus, and they did the same thing. So the Muslims, they gather their elders and the ulama and the qudha and the qadis. They go to the leader of the Mongolians. They tell him, "Now it's becoming too much. You guys are attacking are dishonoring our houses of prayer." Mongolian says, "I do not care. I stand with the Christians." So these provocations continue. This is the month of Safar that we have lost the city of Damascus, the year 658 of the Hijri calendar. Thereafter, Kitbogh al-Nawayan, he continues with the small army that is left with. He conquers most of Syria, most of Lebanon. He conquers most of Palestine, starting with the city of Nablus, until he reaches the city of Gaza. And he conquers Gaza, and he captures that leader who ran away, Nasir Yusuf. But he does not kill him. He appoints him. He wants later to appoint him as the leader of this area. So, by this period, we have lost most of the eastern part of the Muslim world. What is left for us at this time is just the lands of Egypt and North Africa. North Africa, the Muwahidun that were ruling North Africa, they fell, and the Muslims had a civil war and they were very weak. Most of Muslim Andalus and Portugal had already fallen. We are left only with Granada and some few areas of Muslim Spain. We lost the city of Cordoba, the capital city of Spain. We lost Baghdad, the capital city of the Islamic State, the Khilafah. We lost Damascus. We lost Aleppo. We lost Urjanda. We lost Marw. We lost Naysabur, Bukhara, Samarkand. All these great cities of Islamic history we had lost in a period of 30 or 40 years. In the next episode, we'll look at a turning point of these events, not only in Islamic history, but in world history. For things, they will turn. وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامِ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and those are the days that you will turn. The powerful person will become the weaker. The predator will become the prey. The prey will become the predator and so on and so forth. The same thing that's happening to us right now. Yes, we're the prey, but the strength will come back. The Ummah will come back stronger than ever before. In the following episode, we'll look at the state of the Muslim world in their next city. What's the next main city for the Muslims after Damascus? What's the main city that's left, that's in North Africa? What's the main city that's left? If you look at the map of the world. Egypt. What's the capital city of Egypt? Cairo. So the main city that's left now for the Muslim world is the city of Cairo. And you know these are political areas. So the Mongolians are not worried about Mecca or Medina. Those are religious areas that are not where armies are based, are not where government offices are based, and so on and so forth. We want where their institutions, we want where their armies, we want where the leaders live. So the next stage is for us as Mongolians to conquer the north of Africa. This is what we shall look at, the state of the Muslims in the north of Africa. And thereafter, in the month of Ramadan, in the year 658 of the Hijri calendar, the month of Ramadan is not only a month of fasting, it's not only a month of Quran, it is a month of great victories for the Muslims, starting with the great battle of Badr, and also this great battle that we're going to talk about, the battle of Ain Jalut in the year 658 of the Hijri calendar. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.